Europa League game on the Air Sport Pack.
This is News Talk.
Yes, good evening. It is Dave McIntyre, not Nathan Murphy. Your eyes are not deceiving you, or your ears for that matter, if you're listening to us on Off the Ball tonight. It is Thursday evening, which means we've an awful lot to get through between now and 10 o'clock. As always on a Thursday, we'll be joined in studio this time by John Giles, which is great. He's going to join us just after 7:30. Graham Hunter will be talking Real Liverpool in the football show, which will also be populated by Dan McDonnell. He's been out at FAI HQ today hearing from Roy Keane. Not surprising, that was pretty interesting stuff, so we're going to hear a little bit from that as well. Jonathan Walters was also speaking to the Irish media. And after 8 o'clock, James O'Connor and Ollie Canning will talk us through what's likely to be another epic weekend in the Championship hurling. Leinster and Munster, the round robin series continues. Also a little insert in that hours as well. We're going to hear from the former Cork football manager Brian Cuthbert as Cork prepare for their Munster semi-final clash with Tipperary in Semple Stadium on Saturday evening. Also joining us for the night in studio is Richie McCormick.
I'd like to think that there is somebody out there who turned on the radio, heard you introing the show and went, oh god damn, it's not Nathan. Why isn't Nathan there? And they're actually disappointed.
There must be a few people.
Do you think?
Oh yeah.
Because you seem very
one of Ireland's finest broadcasters.
Who? Still talking about Nathan?
Of course.
Alright, sorry. I was a bit lost there for a minute. Thought there's no way, surely not. No, but you know,
I'd just like to think there's at least one person that heard me and thought, oh great,
Dave McIntyre's on. The Dave McIntyre. Well, we're wearing a similar shade of green for those of us who are streaming as well.
Yeah, we are. Is that the Packers?
It is a Packers t-shirt.
It certainly is. It's a logjam of top class sport on Saturday and Sunday. Unfortunately, I have to work both days, so I'm going to miss far more than I actually see.
Yeah, but can we just clarify? You working on Saturday entails you actually being at one of these sporting events.
And therefore missing at least two of the other major ones.
It's not as if you're working at Till and Aldi and you've got no telly in front of you and you're not going to see the Pro 14.
If I was working the Till and Aldi, I would have it live on my phone, whatever it was.
Well, that's just going to cause...
Just tuck it up there beside the screen.
Well, Dave, you're probably familiar with the queues in Aldi. That's only going to make things worse if you're sitting there, because those people work fast on the tills, but they only have ever had...
I would like to think that queues in Aldi and any other supermarkets across the country will be pretty small come Saturday evening, once the Pro 14 final and Champions League finals get up and running.
And the playoff final as well, don't forget. Because I think that's a 5 o'clock kick-off for that one in around there.
And the golf.
And the golf, because the PGA looks like it's being fairly interesting at Wentworth. John Terry's going to be a key figure, obviously, in the playoff final this coming Sunday, Dave. Have you heard of it? Brilliantly sculpted segue. Take it away. It's almost as if we planned this one.
Go there. Where are we going?
He's obviously maybe signing a new contract at Villa. A lot will depend on whether they go up on Saturday and beat Fulham. And Fulham are one of the clubs that are sniffing around him to maybe snatch away his signature. And by God, wouldn't he love a move back to West London, maybe by the banks of the Thames and at Craven Cottage.
So either way, you're saying he's probably will be playing in the Premier League next season?
Either way, it would seem that way, yes. Because Villa, I don't think, would have the money to sustain another year of his contract. He played 32 games for them so far this season. He's done, pretty well. The fact that we haven't mentioned John Terry's name much in Villa's promotion push and that he's played a lot of games suggests that, you know what, he's actually had a pretty solid season. And he stayed out of trouble. And fair play to John Terry for that.
Fair enough.
When he's on his game, he's a very good footballer and was probably down to Championship level anyway this season. But it seems that Villa, in their negotiations to try and keep him on board for next season, have decided that one of their stipulations will be, listen, John, we know this might be a touchy subject for you, so if you do sign with us next season and we do get into the Premier League, you won't have to play Chelsea.
The first thing I said when you slyly mentioned it to me as I stormed into studio just before we went on air was...
That's the much planning we put into it, yeah.
Is there any substance to these rumours at all?
Yeah.
So what have you got to back this up to give us some idea that there's some truth behind it?
Broadsheets like The Guardian and The Telegraph have been reporting this, Dave. This isn't just mere tittle-tattle that you'd find in a sidebar in a tabloid. No,
I would suspect this was not an idea conjured up by Aston Villa.
I think it might have been. I'm trying to think back to...
So hang on here. So the fixture list generator, the machine that they use for that, round about mid-July,
the robot,
just spews out who's going to be where. And final day of the season, Villa at home to Chelsea, possibly needing as a result to keep their Premier League status intact. But they won't have John Terry at the heart of
John Terry's like, I'm sitting this one out. I can't rely on myself. I can't rely on myself not to score an own goal because I just love Chelsea that much.
Because I bloody love Chelsea. Bleed blue.
He bleeds blue, which has been looked at before by several phlebotomists. But there we go. John Terry doesn't want to... I vaguely recall when he was leaving Chelsea, he said that he went for a championship club because he couldn't really bring himself to play against Chelsea.
Yeah, that's why he had to drop down a division. It was nothing to do with the fact that maybe he was past his best when it came to Premier League football.
He had all the
What
pace.
if Villa had drawn Chelsea in the League Cup or the FA Cup this season?
I'd imagine he would have been riding the pine for that one as well.
Although one thing you can be sure of, if Villa do get the result that they require in this hypothetical game on the final day of the season against Chelsea, JT will be stripped, ready to go in his Villa shirt as the celebrations get underway after the full-time whistle.
What if it's a game that has two elements riding on it? It could decide the title in Chelsea's favour, and they will be presented with the trophy if they're playing at Stamford Bridge in the last game of the season.
So you're saying he may take his tracksuit off and to reveal a Chelsea shirt?
Could be the ultimate swerve, Dave.
And may well end up lifting the trophy as well.
Could be the ultimate swerve. I think John Terry has it in him to basically straddle both sides of the fence and that when it comes to the end of the season. Should Villa be in relegation trouble and Chelsea pick up the title? But there we go. He doesn't want to play against Chelsea. How much? Come on. Could you could you imagine not saying that you're not going to play? Like, I'm not going to broadcast up against X station because I used to work for them before.
Yeah.
You'd be thrown out of the building.
If I was to come down with that sort of a message, I probably wouldn't be able to work anywhere.
You've been everywhere, Dave.
But I'd say if John Terry has anything about him, we think he has something about him. As soon as an idea as nonsensical as this was pitched to him, you would imagine that he would just laugh it off.
No.
He would refuse it.
I'd imagine this is his insistence. He's got, lads, I'd like to, it really would. I see where you're coming from with the whole, let's have you in the Premier League, you deserve another run at this, but I can't play against Chelsea. I'll score an OG. I'll start lamping my own players.
Well, a Fulham win at the weekend.
That ends all that.
They want to bring John Terry to Craven Cottage. I wouldn't imagine they'll entertain such nonsense.
They did have a Michael Jackson statue outside the ground for a number of years, Dave.
They got rid of it, though.
But they are open to suggestion. Clearly.
We are here with Air, the home of Air Sport. Get amazing live sporting content free with Air Broadband. Do get in touch with us between now and 10 o'clock. However you so please. You can text us for 30 cent at 53106. You can also get in touch with us on Twitter at Off The Ball. You have begun doing so already. There's a text in. It's all tight t-shirts and tighter haircuts tonight on Off The Ball. But one question. Does Richie apply some boot polish to his beard? I've heard he's a man of a certain age, but no grey whiskers.
Wait, what?
Just for men on the chinny chin chin, asks Denzel.
What age is Denzel? Possibly not the real name, I'm guessing. Suggesting I actually am. Thanks to JP for sending that one through, by the way.
Well, he is suggesting that
Did you hear the laugh in the background as well? What an awful young thing.
Did our mics pick that up?
He did, yeah.
Our ears certainly did.
And he also revealed earlier on today that he was the person who sent through a text, I think it was of his own mind as well, where I'd had a bit of the asthmas when I was doing an update, I think, at one of the 8 o'clocks, and somebody had texted in to say, can you tell Richie to stop breathing? It's really annoying.
Yeah, I've been asked to do that many times by my wife. Can you just try not existing for a little while? What
a dark vignette into the McIntyre household. Good Lord.
What are you, 36, 37?
Are things okay, Dave?
Oh, everything's
You can tell
great.
me. Good.
I'm here tonight with you for 3 hours.
Brilliant. I'll be 36 in July the 7th, if anyone gets me a present.
Do you add anything, any dye type products to your beard?
This is all natural, baby.
See, if I grow a beard, it's a Roy Keane type beard.
I want that, you see.
The grey whiskers are out after 2 days.
I don't want to go around looking like Shay Given with two kind of shades of hair in my head.
Although me suggesting that I could grow a beard as bushy as Roy Keane's is probably being very generous to myself.
That's the goal for all of us, Dave.
It gets a bit scraggly after a couple of days.
It's him and Terry Waite. Good
There's
beards.
a David who's been in touch on 53106, a Rossi living in Dublin. Don't forget Leitrim versus Roscommon on Saturday evening too, lads. How could we? How could we forget it?
Fair play to you.
As Roscommon try and deal with the fact that if they do win, which they likely will, they probably won't be playing against Galway in a Connacht final at Dr. Hyde Park because it doesn't seem to be up to scratch. So despite the fact they actually are due to host Galway the next time they meet in the championship,
Is that
it
in
won't
terms
be
of
this year.
Is that in terms of the stands or the fact
Capacity
that
and
the pitch has been a cabbage match for
I
the past
don't
2
actually
years?
think this issue is pitch related.
For what? Because
But,
it hasn't been great.
Certainly have had their issues with the surface at Hyde Park over the years. We're going to be talking to John Giles in studio just after 7:30, but we have a news round to get through as always. Where do you want to start?
We'll start with events in Abbottstown today. Martin O'Neill has confirmed his 26-man squad for the upcoming friendlies with France and the USA, and among their number are Bohemians goalkeeper Shane Supple and Shamrock Rovers forward Graham Burke. They've both been included. Injury has deprived O'Neill of the likes of Darren Randolph, Kieran Westwood, Kieran Clark and Shawnee Maguire, while Peterborough keeper Conor O'Malley, Sheffield United fullback Enda Stevens, Millwall's Sean Williams and Blackburn pair Darragh Lenihan and Derek Williams are the other uncapped players in the squad. Ireland face France in Paris on Monday before John O'Shea's final game for his country against the US on Saturday week. He'll only join up with the squad before that game. Supple gets to be reacquainted with his former Ipswich manager Roy Keane, and Keane has been speaking this evening about the Bows keeper's decision to step away from Portman Road a number of years ago.
I'm sure he's delighted. Obviously, just met him there briefly before training. He was working with Seamus, and football's it's a small world. It's nice to get back working over the next few days, and obviously he's got a club game. It's been well documented that Shane obviously wanted to step back, obviously from professional football in England, and it was sad. I remember like it was yesterday, but he was also. He certainly wasn't one for changing his mind, and I'm sure he doesn't regret it. And it's nice to be involved working with him again the next few days, and I look forward to it because he's obviously came across a really nice lad.
Yeah, nice words from Roy Keane, and one of Ireland's latest goalkeepers. It would be brilliant to see him play, and there's no doubting his ability. You wonder if he gets an opportunity, is he good enough to step up to and play international football, given the level he has been playing at for the last few years. But some of the saves he has come up with this season in the League of Ireland have been stunning. Yeah,
he started off pretty slowly, but he's gotten there again. And you conceded a penalty against Bray a few weeks ago as well, which was not necessarily the greatest moment in his season. But he's just been very, very consistent over the past number of years for Bows, and deserving of his call-up. One of a number of keepers in the league that are actually really, really good. And I'm thinking like Gerard Doherty at Derry City being another. But it's great to see the fact that they still got eyes on the league. Keane as well this evening spoke about he keeps his eye in. He likes to keep an eye on players, and Graham Burke, as we've seen, being called up to the squad, are among those number as well. So John Walters is one of 3 strikers only in the squad. He last played for Burnley, of course, in a 9-minute cameo at Old Trafford on St Stephen's Day as a knee injury pretty much destroyed his entire season, and it appears that Walters won't be a Burnley player for much longer.
Yeah, look, I've been fit for a while and in the squads and not picked, so I can't moan too much. The team are doing ever so well, but I think I spoke with the manager, and I think I'm available to go if needs be. So probably assess it and see what's there. And but first and foremost is these games. I want to get back playing, get minutes under my belt, and as I said, show him still playing.
You and Sean Dyche are both pretty straightforward guys. So how does a chat like that go?
Pretty straightforward, really. Yeah, it was. I just come in and. If I wanted to do it, then it'll happen. Yeah,
John Walters speaking on his future there. It's a real pity. I mean, it was the right move for him to leave Stoke at the time when he did. Yeah. That injury in December kind of screwed his season basically, and they just kept winning games once they got over the little bit of a rut they were in around Christmas or in the build up to Christmas, and he just hasn't been able to get near the team when he did come back to full fitness. There are at least 3 guys ahead of him.
Yeah, I don't think with Chris Wood's form, etc., he was ever going to be their frontline striker, but he would have been a useful squad player for them. But I can see their logic. I mean, they need to rely on players of a certain age and players of a certain fitness capacity, let's say, for next season, given the number of games that's going to be lumped on top of them. Because
all their strikers had good seasons, really. Vokes had a good season as well. Barnes was brilliant at times.
Yeah, and I suppose it's the rise of Ashley Barnes that really cost them, because Barnes would have been playing in that role where it's add a bit of physicality and try and get yourself in and around the knock-ons and get something down for Chris Wood. So,
and you can see why he's still playing for Ireland, because he needs these games more than anyone, not only just to get minutes under his belt coming back from an injury, but the fact that he needs to find some sort of a shop window. He needs a new club, whether that's Premier League or whether that's Championship level.
I don't think he'd be short of takers, would he?
Certainly not from a Championship point of view. I think any number of the clubs in that division would take him. But I was surprised a little when he decided he was going to continue, because I thought he was definitely one of the candidates to step away on the back of the last campaign, albeit he didn't get to play as many games as he would have liked in it with that injury. But I can see exactly why, aside from how much he loves playing for Ireland, I can see why he's decided to stick around.
Glad he has too. Andy Friend says he's proud and honoured to be named the Connacht head coach. The Australian succeeds Kieran Keane, who lasted just a single season in the Sports Ground hot seat. Friend is a former head coach at both Harlequins and Super Rugby side Brumbies, and also worked under Eddie Jones with the Wallabies. Rory McIlroy is just 2 shots off the lead following the opening round of the BMW PGA Championship at Wentworth. He carded a 5 under par opening round of 67 today. Shane Lowry was set to end the day on 5 under, or indeed better, but he double bogeyed the last to end up on 3 under par. Graham McDowell and Paul Dunn both shot 1 under par opening rounds of 71. But Padraig Harrington had a dreadful first day, carding a 6 over par round of 78. The lead at Wentworth is held by the Dane Lucas Bjerregaard on 7 under par. But McIlroy is pretty pleased with the platform he's given himself for the weekend.
I'm comfortable enough with where my game is. I don't have to be super aggressive. I can lay back a little bit and maybe rely a bit more on my iron play. But I've said it. If you take care of the par fives around here and you play the rest of the holes pretty well, you're always going to have a good chance. And I'd say if I played the par fives well over the next 3 days and played like I did today, I'll hopefully be right up there on Sunday.
Mauricio Pochettino has ended speculation about his future by signing a new contract with Tottenham. The Argentine's new deal will keep him at Spurs until the summer of 2023. He'd been recently linked with the managerial job at Chelsea. Pochettino has been in charge at Tottenham since May of 2014. He's approaching his 4-year anniversary and has helped him to top three finishes in each of the past 3 seasons.
It's huge news for Tottenham, isn't it? I'd say Tottenham fans are absolutely over the moon tonight, and it probably helps dilute some of the doubt over the futures of the likes of Dele Alli, Harry Kane and Christian Eriksen. If he was to leave in the summer, Pochettino that is, you would imagine the odds on all or 1 or 2 of those leaving would have been slashed.
Yeah.
But now that he is sticking around, he's committed his future to the club, heading into the new stadium. I think the odds on all 3 being there in August are probably
all
shortening. 3? I would think that this definitely affects the mindset of Eriksen, Kane and Dele Alli, particularly Dele Alli and Harry Kane.
I think Harry Kane,
Christian Eriksen is the most likely of the 3 to leave.
I wouldn't put it against Dele Alli to maybe have his head turned, particularly if he has a half-decent World Cup.
I'd be surprised now if he's not there in August.
Okay.
I think those 2 will play 1 season at the new White Hart Lane.
Are we calling it that, by the way? Because I was looking at the...
I don't know what we will be officially be asked to call it once the Premier League rolls around again.
Are they going to have a sponsor? I didn't see if they have a sponsor attached to this one, because I was watching the footage of the pitch being rolled in and out, because it's on a platform for the different changes in sports that they're going to have there. Obviously the NFL is going to feature largely, but I don't know if it's White Hart Lane, and that confusion kind of annoys me, Dave. Anyway, Alan Cadigan. It appears his inter-county season is over. The Cork forward has undergone surgery on a knee injury, having missed last Sunday's Munster Championship opener with Clare Porky Cueve. The Examiner's Michael Moynihan reported today that Cadigan will require months of rehabilitation following the surgery. Robbie O'Flynn will also miss this Sunday's trip to Tipperary following the concussion he suffered at Porky Cueve last week. To that Roscommon listener, the Roscommon side that faces Leitrim in Saturday's Connacht semi-final shows 5 changes from the side that claimed the Division 2 title at Croke Park in April. Colm Lavin is back between the posts, while John McManus and Niall McInerney have been named in the Rossies' defence, and Enda Smith and Fintan Cragg bolster Kevin McStay's forward line for Saturday's game. Ed Joyce today announcing his retirement from international and indeed domestic cricket. The veteran batsman finally got to play a test for Ireland when they were beaten by Pakistan at Malahide nearly a fortnight ago. After his debut in '97, Joyce represented Ireland until '05, at which point he tried his hand with England, going on to become a limited overs regular for them. He returned home in 2011 for the World Cup, and 4 years later set an Irish record highest individual first-class score of 231. That came against the UAE. He's to take up a new role overseeing leadership development and as a batting coach in the Irish performance system.
Yeah, fair play to him. A 21-year first-class career. Went to England obviously to try and play Test cricket. Didn't quite happen for him as he would have liked, but certainly was a very handy one-day international. And it's brilliant to see that Irish cricket have held on to him.
That's the thing,
he's got the ready-made position to step right into, and that we aren't going to lose Ed Joyce somewhere else or to the sport.
Clearly that seemed to be the plan going into the final test, because he was front and centre with how this was being pitched, and finally getting to...
very much a swan song.
Yeah, absolutely, and fair play to him. 3 flights that were due to take Liverpool fans to Kiev for Saturday's Champions League final have been cancelled. They'd all been specially chartered for the game against Real Madrid, but the travel company responsible says Kiev Airport hasn't issued them with landing slots, despite being told originally that they had clearance. World Choice Sports of Widnes had promised to give fans a full refund, but realistically leaves the supporters with no route to Ukraine at such short notice. It is. And can you imagine being stuck in an airport and just being told, lads, there's no landing slot for you in Kiev, you're not going to the
Well, see, they won't be stuck at the airport though, will they?
Oh, they got home, but they might be stuck at the airport waiting for...
I mean, I assume these people have found this out long before they actually need to travel. I assume they were travelling tomorrow or Saturday.
I think there might be some people rocking up to the airport. Anyway. The Ireland squad for next week's World Under-20 Championships has undergone some alteration. Gary Owen's Jack Daly replaces Jack O'Sullivan after the latter suffered a knee injury, while a knee complaint is also ruled out. Prop Tom O'Toole, and his place in the squad goes to UCC's Brian O'Connor. Ireland begin their Pool C campaign against host France in Perpignan next Wednesday, and I might even go to that match, Dave, because I'm only half an hour down the road from it at the time.
There you go. Very nice. That's a little insight into the holiday plans of the McCormick household.
Listen, we heard about your family life at home, Dave, and I thought it'd end on a happier note.
Richie's going to be back just after 8 with everything else that's going on in the world of sport. But coming up next, we're going to talk to John Giles.
Off the Ball on News Talk.
In association with Air. Watch every UEFA Champions League and Europa League game on the Air Sport Pack.
Tech Talk with Jess Kelly.
This week on Tech Talk. Looking for a laptop for less than 500 quid or an MP3 player to rival the old school iPod? We'll have product recommendations galore. We explore the ethical implications of artificial intelligence and head to Cavan to code like a girl.
Tech Talk with Jess Kelly.
Download the podcast first now or tune in Sunday at 6.
On News Talk.
Taste of Dublin returns to the capital this summer. From the 14th to 17th of June, Taste of Dublin is set to transform the Ivy Gardens into a food lover's playground.